In this video, I'm going to share with you some signs that you're being extremely rude at parties and making etiquette mistakes without even realizing it. Hi, how are you? I'm Juliana Santiago, a teacher and etiquette specialist. Welcome to the Etiquette and Protocol channel. Here, we talk about etiquette and behavior topics. So if you like this kind of content, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about some common practices that people do at parties. And many times people don't realize that it's actually rude, that you're being extremely impolite and not behaving appropriately. So I've picked out the main ones here in my opinion, and I'm going to share them with you. The first sign that you're being extremely impolite is spending too much time on your phone. Many people, sometimes out of habit, keep checking notifications on their phones all the time, chatting on WhatsApp for a long time, or even taking phone calls and talking in the middle of the party. And they also waste a lot of time checking updates on social media, seeing who posted what, checking stories and posts. And sometimes people don't do this on purpose. They do it out of habit. Because today, we have actually become a society that's a bit addicted to using cell phones. So we really need to pay attention to our behavior. When we're there with other people, especially at a social event with a lot of people, like a party, people want to talk and share experiences. Often they want to get to know you better and learn about your experiences. But if you spend the whole time on your phone, they won't feel open to connecting with you. It's as if the phone creates a barrier to communication, to getting closer. So pay attention when you're in other environments, places where you can meet new people, connect, share experiences, and talk to others. How much time do you spend on your phone? Of course, checking a notification, an important message, or making a call that's essential for you is understandable. That's fine, but we need to be a little careful with excessive use of our phones. Another thing which is also a mistake in etiquette and often people don't notice, especially those who love to talk and chat a lot, is monopolizing conversations. People, especially the more extroverted ones, have a habit of talking too much, so they always want to chat, bring up new things, topics, subjects, and that's very positive. But when it becomes too much, only you introduce topics, only you talk, only you are the one who brings up subjects for conversation, that becomes extremely tiring for other people. So instead of creating an image that you are an outgoing, pleasant person, someone who enriches the environment, you end up changing the opposite of that, which are the tiring people, the people who monopolize conversations, the people who don't let anyone else speak. So we have to be a little careful, especially if you're the kind of person who likes to talk, who likes to communicate, who likes to express yourself, okay? And an extra tip for the hostesses, when you notice that there's someone monopolizing the conversation the whole time, she's always being the center, she doesn't let other people talk, try in a subtle way to shift the focus away from this person a little. So you can ask someone about a topic you think is relevant, for example. If you know that a friend took a trip and there's someone in the group who keeps monopolizing the conversation the whole time, then you ask this friend, "Hey, tell me a little about your trip." And then the person who's always monopolizing the conversation will ask. They'll kind of have to let the other person talk a little, right? But it could be that they end up turning the conversation back to themselves. But as the host, it's important for you to notice this and also let other people talk and bring up topics to the conversation circle. Especially at smaller events, right? Sometimes a more intimate dinner, a more informal get-together with friends, or even a Sunday barbecue. But we also have to think about this. The opposite of talking too much can also be complicated. It's also a mistake in etiquette when you're someone who's always silent. A person who doesn't express her opinion, doesn't comment on anything, doesn't say anything, doesn't bring up any topic of conversation, right? Or you don't even try to bring up a topic of conversation. People might see you as a boring person, right? like a rude person, that person who's always there, but no one really feels her presence. So it's interesting for you who are often more shy. Go to events, meetings, gatherings with some topics that you notice could be relevant to bring up as a conversation topic. So for example, if it's a meeting between work friends, you can observe, for instance, in your city. Is there going to be an important concert, some international show happening? That's something we talk about. There's going to be a Bruno Mars concert. There's going to be a Coldplay concert here in our city, right? So it's interesting for you to bring some news and talk about experiences. So that can be a strategy for you to think of a topic. It's good to have more than one topic in mind, okay? Another thing that's really annoying is when people do what? They come here to the channel, watch the videos, and don't like the video, don't comment, don't share. So if you like this video, give it a like. I know that you are present here on this channel. Many times the videos reach thousands of views, but I would like to know who you are that watches the content. What would you like to see here? Comment down below. What are your opinions, your interactions? This exchange is very important to me. I count on your help and your support here on the channel. Still talking about conversations, one thing we also need to pay attention to at parties is speaking too loudly. So, pay attention to your tone of voice. Of course, you need to use a tone that people can hear you. So if there's live music, if there's a guitar, someone playing a song, or if there's background music, maybe you need to project your voice a little louder than you're used to. But if you're used to speaking loudly, always very loudly, always with an extremely high tone of voice in front of the group, it's important for you to start noticing this because it also really harms your image and ends up making you seem less elegant. What can you do to improve this? Ideally, you should observe the tone of voice that the group uses. Then you observe how people communicate there and end up keeping the same tone of voice as they do. This is really good because you make yourself present there. It's like you're respecting the rules set by everyone. So pay attention to that. I think it will help you. A very serious mistake is to ignore the presence of the host. So for example, at an event, even if you are not very close to the host. Sometimes, for example, you are accompanying your child to a children's party, but you don't know the birthday child's parents very well. Then you might feel a bit awkward about greeting them, but it's not a good idea to do that. You need to have the courage to go over and say hello. The child's parents, in a way, are also the hosts of that event. Just as the child is the birthday person, especially in the case of younger children, the parents also have the responsibility to play the role of hosts. They are the adults responsible for the event, so you need to have the courage to go and greet them, because otherwise you might be seen as rude. Don't forget to say thank you, send a message, even if it's through WhatsApp, thanking them for the invitation and the opportunity to be at an event provided by someone. And nowadays we also need to appreciate the invitations that people give us. Many times people need to select guests for a party, they need to make a list, they have to leave some people out just to invite you, so thanking them for this opportunity is very polite. Overindulging in alcohol can also be a problem for you if you want to maintain elegance during a party. Drinking too much, overindulging in alcohol is also a problem for you if you want to maintain a more elegant demeanor. What happens when you drink too much? You might end up not being able to act according to your own will, right? Alcohol changes your personality a bit. Sometimes you might get a little dizzy, right? You might not be able to speak properly. This can end up harming the image you have in front of the group. Of course, it's not wrong for you to drink, okay, guys? Life is meant to be lived, it's meant to be enjoyed, but we need to do everything in moderation. So know your limits, right? If you're an adult, know your limits. And also drink plenty of water, sometimes between one glass and another, between one beer and another. Try to drink water, stay hydrated. What then? You can keep yourself feeling good throughout the whole event and enjoy it, and even have a much better next day without a hangover. Eating carelessly is also something that really harms your image at a party, right? I don't know if you've noticed the way you conduct your behavior. When it's time to eat a snack, when it's time to have a drink, when it's time for dinner, sometimes when the main course is served, what is your behavior like? Do you have control, of the fork and knife? Do you know how to hold the utensils properly? Are you able to master this whole process? Because it's essential for you, if you want to have a more elegant image, to feel confident when eating, especially in front of other people. When you're at home, in a way, you can even eat however you think is most appropriate. But when you're in front of other people, sharing that moment with them, there are indeed some practices that will make others even feel comfortable sharing a table with you. So, for example, talking with your mouth full, chewing your food in a way that people can see, or spreading your arms too much when you're about to cut your food. Not being able to hold the cutlery properly, not having control when holding the cutlery are just some of the mistakes people make at the table, right? When it's time to eat, knowing how to eat a savory snack or even a bruschetta, how to add a pâté or eat a charcuterie board. All this knowledge and mastery will make people see you in a different way, right? So people can see that you master all the processes, the party, right? It's something that makes you kinder, more polite, more elegant, and people see you in a different way. And if you want to master not only table manners, but also your daily life, your work, at parties. In general, I have my etiquette and good manners training, which is a very comprehensive training for you who are interested in improving your behavior. If you really want to be a different person, want to be seen as a more empathetic person, as a more respectful person, and want to have good manners, this course is for you. You can point your phone at this QR code where you'll have access to our website, or you can click the link that's right here in the description of this video. You can use the coupon YouTube if you haven't taken any training at our school yet and get a super special first-time purchase discount. I'll be waiting for you, and I'd love to have you as a student. Arriving late is also another huge mistake. Unfortunately, in our country, people have the habit of arriving very late. So we schedule a lunch for 1 in the afternoon and people show up at 2:30. Unfortunately, that's what happens. But we need to remember that when invited to a party or event, there are set start and end times. Especially if the person hires someone to make the food, if they hire a catering service, the catering has a set time that they stay at the event, at the venue. And if you arrive very late, it really affects the flow of the event. You miss out on a lot. And in the case of small events, it's even worse. If you arrive late and it's a lunch where there will be, for example, 3 couples, then you and your husband arrive late and the other 2 couples, the other 4 people arrive on time. If you arrive very late, you really disrupt the flow of that event. There for the hostess, because she will need to hold off the lunch and inconvenience those who arrived on time because you are arriving late. So it's important for us to be a bit more careful when it comes to timing. And especially if you are in contact with other cultures, travel a lot, or even live outside Brazil, this is not a common practice in other countries, okay? So pay attention. Here's the tip when we talk about rude behavior, inappropriate behavior. Naturally, we're talking about things you do that make people not like you. So when you have bad behavior, negative behavior, naturally people end up not liking you. And if you want to know what else can make someone not like you, click on the video right here on the side. There's more content for you in that video. Don't forget to like the video here on the channel and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll stop here. Thank you so much and see you later.